In a certain kingdom, there lived an extremely wealthy elder who was approaching the twilight of his life. He had only one daughter who was beautiful and virtuous. Worried about his child's future and wishing to find a worthy heir for his immense fortune, he decided to organize a special competition to select a son-in-law. Unlike other wealthy men who usually chose sons-in-law based on martial arts talent or riches, this elder proposed a strange challenge. He summoned all the elite young men in the region and gave each of them a bag of flower seeds. He declared loudly, "Whoever among you can grow the most beautiful flowers from these seeds after 3 months, to him I shall give my daughter in marriage and hand over my entire fortune." Hundreds of young men excitedly took the seeds home. Everyone poured their heart and soul into the task, buying the best fertilizers, watering with care, and tending to them day and night. Among them was a poor young man named Tam. He was also very diligent, tilling the soil until it was loose and airy, sowing the seeds, and watering them regularly. However, no matter how hard he tried, a week, then a month, then 3 months passed, and his flower pot remained just a pot of empty soil. Not a single green sprout emerged. On the appointed day, the young men gathered in full force at the elder's mansion. Everyone proudly carried pots of brilliant, colorful flowers, from noble peonies to radiant roses. Only Tam stood with his head bowed in embarrassment, holding an empty pot of soil. The people around him began to mock and ridicule his clumsiness. The elder walked around, admiring the magnificent flower pots, yet his face remained pensive, showing no sign of joy. Finally, he stopped in front of Tam and asked, "Why does your pot have no flowers?" Tam trembled and replied, "Sir, I tried my best. I tilled the best soil and watered it every day, but for some reason, the seeds would not sprout. I honestly brought this empty pot here to apologize to you for failing to complete the challenge." Unexpectedly, the elder smiled radiantly, took Tam's hand, and declared, "This is the son-in-law I have been looking for." To everyone's astonishment, he explained, "All the seeds I handed out had actually been boiled. They were never capable of sprouting." The other young men, out of greed for the fortune and fame, upon seeing the seeds fail to sprout, secretly replaced them with other seeds to produce these brilliant flower pots. Only this young man was honest, preferring to endure shame rather than deceive. My fortune needs a person of virtue to manage it, not a schemer. This story is a valuable lesson about the law of cause and effect and honesty. In life, we are sometimes led by greed, ready to cheat to achieve short-term goals. However, a thin cloth cannot cover the eyes of the holy. The result of deceit will ultimately be the loss of trust and dignity. Honesty is the best seed that everyone needs to sow. A person who lives truthfully may suffer disadvantages in the short term, but in the long run, they will reap peace and lasting blessings that no amount of gold or silver can buy.